So this is my milestone 1. Not feeling super well right now, so my voice is going to be a little quiet. So I'll just start explaining some of the code. So as you can see here, let's scroll up. This is the maze character CPP. So as you can see here, we're just setting some default values. So this is how we call the character basically, and it's not like 100% necessary, but this is how we update the character with any new information it needs to be updated with. So this is when the game starts or when the character spawned. So this is just like setting it on begin play, and then so we're setting the character to start when we start the level. This is called every frame, again, just to kind of update the character, make sure we just keep updating every frame, every tick. This is how we actually set up some of the input to the player. So the maze character, that's our character, and we setting up some input. So as you can see here, we're binding it with the access mapping that we did in the engine. So this is our move forward and backward, move left and right, and rotate. And this is how we're binding it to our maze character, or our main character basically. And this is like the definitions. So this is adding the input. We're doing the forward vector, value, move speed. So this is the forward backward. This is the right one. So we're doing left and right. And this is rotate. So we're focusing on rotate speed and such. Things like that. We've got the maze mode game. So this is basically setting it so like there's no override for the default pawn class. So basically it's saying if there's a pawn in the scene and there's no override for it, so it's not set to be like an AI or an NPC, then that means we need to set it to our player character, because if it's not one of the other two options, it must mean that it is our character. So we want to set that equal to our character. And the lock and key. So basically for the lock and key, we're setting up the whole functionality of the door and the key and the lock and all this stuff. So we are checking the actor who runs into it, because again, if it's an NPC or an AI or something, we don't want the door to open. We only want it to open with our maze character. So that's how we're doing here. We're checking if it's a maze character. If it is, then we want to open the door. And then when we open the door, we want it to be destroyed, because we don't want it still on the scene because it was already opened. So, and this is just kind of defining what we need for the other CPP file and this header. So this is how we tell if the actor is overlapping, and then we check the actor if it's another actor, not one of the other two, and then here's our open the door function. And this is our lock and key function. Here we are, just kind of defining some stuff for the CPP file. This is our maze character. We're setting it at the default character, so that for this one, we have that all set up to be the default. And then for the maze character, this is where this is where some of our movement was. So we had it here, and then we define it in the CPP file. This is some move speed, rotation speed. This is the input. We're setting up the input, certain things like that. Our maze characters, we can set some values for it, and then we do that all in this file. So if we hop in over here, okay. As you can see here, this is one of my test scenes. So this is the door test scene. So I'll open that here. So here's my character. Moving the camera around, going forward, going backward, going left, going right. Looks better if you do it that way, but woo! Okay. And then when we touch this key door situation, it will disappear because when we touched the key, it disappeared because it was overlapping it, which is what we want to happen. All right, let me go to the over level. I guess movement test I don't need to open because you saw moving around in this test area. Let's see. Here's our main maze. As you can see here, I made a basic maze here that the character can run through. Obviously, we'll add a bunch more things for it to go through and different areas like that. Just some walls. I found a site kind of like let you generate random mazes, and so I was able to take that and map out that map that I found on here so that it works as a cohesive maze. Ways to get around and in and out of it. Obviously, there's these dead end spots, things like that, so that it makes it feel like a real maze to the character. And I think that's basically it.